Hello students, once again welcome to Hitesh classes. Today we are going to study about the fifth poem of the CBSE 12th, A Roadside Stand. This poem is written by Robert Frost. And Robert Frost, we are just talking about Robert Frost first of all before going with this poem. So Robert Frost actually is highly acclaimed American poet of the 20th century, no doubt in it. And Robert Frost wrote about characters, people and landscapes. His poems are concerned with human tragedies and fears, his reactions to the complexities of life, and his ultimate acceptance of his burden. Yeah, there is no doubt in it. So basically he touched the rural life where he dealt with several difficult social themes of the time as well. And another point regarding Robert Frost is no doubt he was an eminent poet of that time as well. And the first work was published in England before it was published in America. And he got 4-time Pulitzer Prize, and he was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetic works. So guys, first of all, we are knowing about these two awards, what these two awards are. So the very first award is Congressional Award. Is an award for young American established by United States Congress in 1979 to recognize the initiative, service and achievements in young people. And another prize which he got 4 times, so that is Pulitzer Prize, is an award for achievements in newspaper, magazine and online journalism, literature and musical composition in the United States. So basically, A Roadside Stand, Frost presents the lives of poor, deprived people with pitiless clarity and with the deepest sympathy and humanity. Yeah, इस पोएम में जो पोएट हैं वो उन लोगों की जिंदगी के बारे में बता रहे हैं जो बेसिक सुविधाओं से भी वंचित हैं। बिल्कुल स्पष्टता उनके बारे में वो बताते हैं विद द डीपेस्ट सिंपैथी एंड ह्यूमैनिटी, पूरी सहानुभूति के साथ, पूरी मानवता के साथ एक डेलिनेशन करते हैं, बेहतर तरीके का डेलिनेशन उनकी लाइफ का जो चित्रण है वो करते हैं। Yes guys, and before going with this poem, there is one question which is given over here. Have you ever stopped at the roadside stand? What have you observed there? So the poet is asking to the reader, those who are reading his poem, so that have you ever gone through the roadside stand? Have you ever seen? And if you have seen these roadside stands, so have you ever observed? And what observation was there regarding them? So this is the question, and answer has been given to us beautifully by John Keats itself. So we are starting with this poem. So actually what this poem is all about the poor people. In this poem, the poet highlights the plight of the deprived villagers who are aching for some money to lead a prosperous life. They are also demanding money to live their life, actually what the city people are living at that time. Okay, the poet is also very critical of the way the city folks treat these villagers. Here, the poet is describing this fact that the city people are totally ignoring all the villagers because of their illiteracy and unawareness in their society, who are selling their locally produced goods and whizzing past them without a sense of empathy. Yeah, there is no doubt. There are two words in English, one is sympathy and one is empathy. So here the poet stresses on this fact that a person can make sympathy to anyone, but it is hard to empathize anyone. Right? So let us know about sympathy and empathy. According to the dictionary, the meaning of sympathy is an understanding of other people's feeling. दूसरे लोगों की feelings को समझना. And what's about empathy? The dictionary meaning of empathy is the ability to imagine how another person is feeling and so understand his or her mood. Definitely. Because empathy means आप अपने आप को उस बंदे की जगह रख कर देख रहे हैं, उसके चैलेंजेस, उसके दुख को महसूस कर रहे हैं और तब जाकर उस व्यक्ति को समझ रहे हैं. So in this way the Robert Frost is doing aware the common masses of the society and all the polished people of that society who are ignoring these people and they are not taking care of that. Definitely. And here the hidden meaning, it comes to us that if we people are not taking care of these deprived people, so that it means one day for actually fulfilling their daily needs of life, they will become criminal. So we must think about it and widen up your imagination, students, while listening to this poem. Thereafter you will easily understand the gist of this poem. आप बड़ी आसानी से इसका सारांश समझ जाएंगे कि जो रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट है, what he wants to convey to us. Absolutely जी. This is absolutely right. And empathy is of three types, students. One is emotional, second is cognitive, and third is compassion. So we are starting with this poem here. The little old house was out with a little new shed. Here the poet is saying that all those people who are living in the countryside area, so those who are having their houses near the road, near the edge of the road, they are extending their shed to settle down their shops so that they would be able to sell something to the passers by. यहां ये चीज बताना चाहते हैं रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट कि वो जो लोग हैं, जो डिप्राइव्ड पीपल हैं, जो पुअर पीपल हैं कंट्री साइड एरिया में, जिनके जो झोंपड़े हैं, एंड इनको हम ये भी कह सकते हैं शैक ऑनर्स. शैक का मतलब होता है झोपड़ा, है ना. शैक ऑनर्स, तो जो शैक ऑनर्स हैं वो उन्होंने अपने जो शेड हैं वो अपने घरों से आगे एक्सटेंड कर लिए हैं ताकि वो कुछ चीज़ों को रख पाएं और जो वहाँ पास से गुजरने वाले जो व्हीकल से अपने व्हीकल से गुजरते हैं जो लोग, उनको कुछ चीज़ें सेल कर पाएं, क्योंकि वो भी चाहते हैं कि एटलीस्ट हम भी अपने जीवन का जो गुजर बसर है वो बेहतर तरीके से कर पाएं. The little old house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped, where all the passers by are going. So in other words, we can say that the occupants of the little old house have extended the shed in front around the edge of the road where traffic passes by. Absolutely right, Ji. So next line is a roadside stand that too pathetically flat. It would not be fair to say for the dole of bread. Here the poet describes that it would be unfair to say or to state that the shack owners wanted a charity of bread. But nevertheless, they seem to implore the passers-by to stop and buy something from the shack. Yeah, absolutely. Rather, charity of bread, they demand that these passers-by must stop and purchase something from them so that they would be able to earn their livelihood. यहाँ पोइट बहुत अच्छे तरीके से डिस्क्राइब करता है और कहता है कि मतलब हमें मतलब ऐसा नहीं कहना चाहिए, ये बिल्कुल भी जस्टिस नहीं होगा इन पुअर पीपल के साथ कि अगर हम ये कहें कि ये चाहते हैं इन पासर्स बाय से कि भाई हमें जो है ना कुछ दान दे जाएं। नहीं, ये दान नहीं चाहते, ये चाहते हैं कि ये काम कर रहे हैं उनके काम को अप्रिशिएट किया जाए, साथ में इनसे कुछ चीज़ें खरीद ली जाएं ताकि मनी का सर्कुलेशन अच्छे तरीके से हो और ये भी अपने जीवन को सही तरीके से चला पाएं। बट फॉर सम ऑफ द मनी द कैश whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. Absolutely right. It is telling over here. Let me explain you about all of these things, students. Actually, what does it mean here? But for some of the money. Actually, they are desiring some money after selling their products. Right? So the cash which they are demanding, through which they would be able to support their life, whose flow support. The flower of cities means the people who are rich enough, they are residing, or the dwellers of the city. So from sinking and withering faint, that it means from those poor people, those deprived people. So what they deprived people hope from the rich and the city dwellers, they hope that people from city would stop nearby and buy something from there. The money raised from such deals will help them to earn their living. For the poor people who are standing at roadside, money is essential for growth and survival. और पैसा तो किसको ज़रूरत नहीं होती। कहते हैं पैसा खुदा से कम नहीं है, लेकिन खुदा नहीं है, क्योंकि पैसे की ज़रूरत पैसा पूरा करता है। एंड they are really understanding the worth of money in their life. So that's why they are pleading, they are requesting. And on the other hand, if we want to say that Robert Frost is requesting from those countryside people to all the rich people that they must pay heed and attention to these deprived people, so that whatever the disparity is there in our society, it can be checked. इसे कहीं ना कहीं किसी भी स्थिति में रोका जा सके। ये सारी चीज़ें बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं हमारे जो रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट हैं। आप जानिएगा इस चीज़ को। A roadside stand that too pathetically pled, it would not be fair to say for the dole of bread, but for some of the money, the cash whose flow sports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. Yeah, and another thing which it comes over here, actually the flower of cities and from sinking and withering faint. Basically, what is it happening over here? These deprived people long for the feel of the currency, the circulation of which flourishes the city folks. बिल्कुल, जिस पैसे से जो सिटी वाले एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, एक अच्छा जीवन यापन कर रहे हैं, तो ये भी यही चाहते हैं कि वो भी उस पैसे को फील करना चाहते हैं। They want to feel that money. So this is the first stanza, students, and the second stanza, here it comes. The polished traffic passed with a mind ahead, or if ever aside a moment, then out of sorts at having the landscape marred with the artless paint. There is an unfortunate condition. Here, poet is describing so beautifully. They are saying that the polished traffic passed with the mind ahead. Those passers-by, they are ignoring all the roadside stand people. Yeah, they are not paying any attention or heed to it. This is really unfortunate condition. Unfortunately, the refined traffic whizzed past. बड़ी तेजी से गुजर जाते हैं, unmindful of the shack. और ये जो लोग हैं इनको इग्नोर करते हुए, इनसे बेखबर, अनमाइंडफुल, बेखबर, ये बिल्कुल बेखबर होते हैं. एंड इफ बाय चांस or if ever aside a moment, that it means if by chance any stop, it would be with a feeling of reapproach at this blot on the picturesque landscape. यदि कोई वहां रुक भी जाता है, having the landscape marked with the artless paint, वहां उनकी सोच क्या रहती है? वो इस चीज को घृणा की दृष्टि से देखते हैं कि these people are blot, ये धब्बे हैं on the picturesque landscape. जो ये खूबसूरत दृश्यावली है, प्रकृति का सुंदर नज़ारा है, इसके ऊपर ये जो रोड साइड स्टैंड पीपल हैं, ये जो है धब्बा है. वो ऐसा सोचते हैं. यहाँ कवि बहुत ही खूबसूरत शब्दों में हमें बताने की कोशिश करते हैं. And the next, what it happens? Of signs that with N turned wrong and S turned wrong, offered for sale wild berries in wooden carts or crook-necked golden squash with silver warts. What does it mean here? Of the signs that with N turned wrong and S turned wrong. It means actually they people are illiterate. That's why on their signboard they have mentioned S and N in a reverse form. So it shows their illiteracy, that they are not so much aware, they are not educated. So we must think of them as well to make a proper balance in our society. So that it means they are offering, actually what do they people are doing? Actually they are offering berries and golden squash for sale on the roadside stand. They are offering it, they are selling something. So we must think of them. And on the other hand, though the poet is describing this fact, those who are ignoring these people. So he is saying that, or beauty rests in the beautiful mountain scene. Beauty would be still there. There is not any such thing that these rich people are thinking about them, that these are the blot on the picturesque landscape. कि ये धब्बा है पिक्चरस लैंडस्केप पर, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. सो ये बताना चाहते हैं कि बेसिकली वो कहते हैं कि जो ब्यूटी है वो तो वहीं की वहीं रहेगी भाई, इस ब्यूटी का क्या बिगड़ना है ना. बट इफ यू वांट टू बी मी, यू हैव द मनी. वो कहते हैं ब्यूटी तो वहीं रहेगी. ही वांट्स टू से दैट एक्चुअली दोज पीपल हु आर एनफ मनी, so they can enjoy such kind of beautiful mountaining scenes and everything which is still present in the lap of nature. But if you have the money, it happens only then. But if you want to be mean, and if you are mean, you are selfish fellow, you are ignoring these shack honors, that it means these poor people, so the heart to the scenery wouldn't be my complaint. Why keep your money this grossly and go along? So keep your money with you. Then what is the use of this money if you are not spending something for the welfare of these people? That means they are not demanding any money in charity, rather they are selling something. So in lieu of selling something, they are demanding money. So at least we people can think on it, and we people can support them a lot in this regard. So the place also offered a blissful stay in the lap of nature for the ones who had money, angry at the callous attitude of the so-called polished traffic. The poet commends them to move ahead, oblivious of the roadside stand. Absolutely right, that if they people are going and they are ignoring these people, then go away, na? No need to think of them. So in a sarcastical way, the poet is describing these lines here. So, or beauty rests in the beautiful mountain scene. You have the money, but if you want to be mean, why keep your money this grossly and go along? Yeah. Another thing which is here. And one more thing I would like to make you remind here, the unqualitative local produce is highlighted with the usage of words like crook neck, squash with silver waltz. So यहाँ इन phrases के साथ description दिया गया है, बहुत अच्छा सा description दिया गया है students, right जी? So अभी next stanza की तरफ हम आते हैं. The heart to the scenery wouldn't be my complaint. The poet is saying that this is not my complaint to the people, that they are saying that they are blemished on the landscape. They are actually blot on the landscape. But what the poet wants to describe here, actually we must know about it, what the complaint is all about, so much as the trusting sorrow of what is unsaid. The poet wants to describe those unexplained, unvented, unexplained sorrow of shed honors. They can't say anything, but the poet is representing them while saying their feelings to the readers, to the society, and to those rich people who are residing in the city area. So expressing the viewpoint of these people, the poet converts their ardent desire to handle some city men. Yeah, so much as the trusting sorrow of what is unsaid. Here, far from the city, we make our roadside stand. Here the poet says that from countryside people area, so from the side of countryside people area, far from the city area, we have established and developed our roadside stand, and we are asking for some city money to feel in hand. We also want to feel the money in our hand through which you are enjoying your life in the city, right? To try if it will not make our being expand. We want a little bit, which may perhaps alleviate our sufferings, as sometimes promised in movies. Beautiful lines. And give us the life of the moving pictures promise. जैसा कि मूवीज में दिखा दिया जाता है कि गरीबों की कितनी ज़बरदस्त मदद हो रही है, अमीर लोग कितनी मदद कर रहे हैं, तो एटलीस्ट इस तरह के जो प्रोमिसेस या इस तरह के जो पिक्चर्स दिखाए जाते हैं, झूठे वादे होते हैं, एटलीस्ट वो कहते हैं कि वो तो आप अपने फुलफिल कीजिए ना, हमारे से कुछ चीज़ खरीद लीजिए, उसके बदले में हमें पैसा मिल जाएगा, उसमें अच्छा रह जाएगा, हम भी अपना जीवन यापन बहुत बेहतर तरीके से कर पाएंगे जी. That the party in power is said to be keeping from us, and the poet is saying that those different political parties, those who are coming in power, actually deprive them of a prosperous life. Actually, they people do not provide them that kind of a facility which they are deserving and requiring. You know, people, the fact behind is this, that certain plans and certain actually whatever the facilities is provided by the government, so certain corrupted people, certain political people, they don't want to provide all of these facilities from the government side to the poor people, and this is really a panic situation, not at this time, but also it was at that time as well. So this is the first part of this poem which we have done. So wait for the next one, and in the next part the complete poem would be there. So till then, have a nice day and may God bless you, students.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.